Agent Zero season for Will Johnson seemingly is here. Is Kyler Murray throwing interceptions during camp a deal at all? And NFL Network joins Cardinals camp this week. Let's discuss.
You are Locked On Cardinals, your daily Arizona Cardinals podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Locked On Cardinals, Alex Clancy here. Follow me on Twitter, Clancy's Corner. Follow the podcast at Locked On AZ Cards. Thank you for making Locked On Cardinals your first listen, free wherever you get your podcast and on YouTube. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Kind of have a grab bag show today. NFL Network just released, I just got the email from the team that Inside Training Camp will be visiting the Arizona Cardinals on Wednesday. Why it needs to be discussed, even though it's not important in the grand scheme of things. It's just going to be a fun topic, and I want to chat about it. Is Kyler Murray throwing interceptions in camp a deal at all? That needs to be discussed because the first topic is about Will Johnson just maybe being CB1 a lot quicker than people had thought, whether it be because of the phantom injury or whatever reason. It's going to be a fun show today. Today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account. Use code LOCKEDONNFL for $20 off your first purchase. So the red and white practice was this past weekend on Saturday. Looked like a great turnout. You finally got to see a little bit more speed, picking up the pace, not so much walkthroughs and, in shorts and T-shirts and stuff like that. Will Johnson picked off yet another pass. And listen, I know it's camp, and I'm the first one to say that as long as they're not the oh no moments, you're not really getting a whole lot out of camp, aside from, who's going to be on the depth chart and, who's winning roles and things like that. But by all accounts, especially on offense with the quarterback, like it's much ado about nothing, but you're starting to see things in motion with the defense, the young secondary outside of, Budda Baker and Jalen Thompson, and how it's really going to mold in. And let's just take a walk down what the opposite of memory lane is. Take a walk down future lane. That's stupid. What if Will Johnson's good like right away? And, if you told me that Will Johnson was a Pro Bowler his rookie year, it's like, yeah, I mean, you could see it. I mean, all he's been is great. And I know he missed some time in college last year, but like all he's been is great. He was defensive MVP of the national championship game 2 years ago. And then Cody Simon won last year. Both Arizona Cardinals. Pretty good. He just looks so much like an NFL cornerback already. Just like I talk about with head coaches, like I think there's real merit to it. So you can tell, not that, future success unveiled just because a dude looks like a head coach, but Will Johnson looks like the game isn't too fast for him. And obviously they're going at 70%. Obviously they're going against dudes that they see every day in practice, and it's not opposing offensive schemes trying to exploit exactly what the Cardinals' defensive weaknesses are. I completely understand all of that. And it's a lot better than the alternative. I think that's fair too. So when you look at number 0, which is a badass number, it's a badass number. It's a badass number. I did a number segment where the majority are good. I don't like Josh Sweat at 10. I don't know if it's because DeAndre Hopkins is still in my head, but I don't like Josh Sweat at 10. I love Will Johnson at 0. That's the best. That's the best. That's the best. Single numbers for defensive, elite defensive players. Budda Baker with 3. Was he 32 and then switch it to 3 when you could have whatever number you wanted a couple years ago? Number 0. I could talk about it for 45 minutes about how excited I am. I won't, but I could, but I won't. If he's ready to rip, let's say in the first month, and he's a dude where it's like, oh yeah, he's better than Max Melton. I'm not saying this just because of Cam. I'm saying there is a world we live in where that could happen, okay? Then you're looking at, so say Will Johnson's ready to rip, okay? And I think that's going to take some more curvature than people think. I think the curve is going to be longer, even though he's looked very good at camp. Like playing cornerback's the toughest position in football, in my opinion. But if that works and you get into that demon mode set, I think I'm sticking with demon mode for the year. The demon mode set with the 3 safeties, Garrett Williams on the outside and Will Johnson on the outside, you're talking about potentially a top 3 DB room in football. Like, I don't think people understand how serious this can get. And the reason why, not just because of the talent there, but also because of the steroids for that room, which is a pass rush. That helps everything. So outside of like the Cardinals were 15th ranked defense by most metrics last year. Okay. By most, outlets last year without a pass rush. If you put this secondary in the second year plus, so say this is going to 2025 with the same pass rush as last year, this team is going to carry it probably to top 12. So when you have a pass rush to go along with it, both through the interior and off the edge, you're looking at very dangerous waters for opposing teams. So when you see Will Johnson do what he's doing, and again, I know it's a 70%. I know it. He's physical. You saw him throw down Marv a couple times where he was chipping him at the line. You could see him jump routes, pick balls off, and it doesn't look too fast for him. All the while, he's got an Atlas-sized chip on his shoulder for dropping to the 40s. This is very good news for the Arizona Cardinals. This is excellent news for the Arizona Cardinals. And then on top of that, if Max Melton takes the step in year 2 like you think he's going to, the Cardinals are going to have very serious conversations for being a top 3, top 5 secondary. Truly. And then you go into next season, 2026, you get the best off-ball linebacker in the draft. If Cody Simon isn't that guy, who I think he's going to surprise some people. You get one off the free agency, you get a couple offensive linemen, you get a wide receiver, and then you've got potential truly to make very deep runs in this league. And I get chirped at so much by people, well, it hasn't happened yet. It's like, okay, we're not doing this. Be an adult. Think for yourself. Please look at what's happened, factually happened. That's changed the barometer around this team. It's changed the floor. It's changed everything. And I'm sorry if you have Stockholm syndrome for losing and dysfunctionality and can't see a good, healthy thing when it's staring you in the face. I can't. I'm not your therapist. I can't do it. But if you can't see what's in front of you, I can't help you. And Will Johnson, for this year and hopefully for the next decade, could be a massive pillar for this team. I say again, I ask again, everydayers, I'm sorry, I'm a revolving door, but I got to say it again. If this is your first listen to Locked On Cardinals, thank you. You will hear me say this a lot. Since Budda Baker's been drafted in 2017, he has never had anything close to 2 competent cornerbacks playing alongside each other. Think. Almost 10 years, 9. And it's not even close. Like, I hear when people say, oh, it's not particularly close. It's like, no. He's had Patrick Peterson on the tail end of his relevancy. Patrick Peterson was great. Like, I give Patrick Peterson a hard time for how he left and requesting all the trades and stuff. He was good in, 2017. He was okay in 2018. That defense wasn't the problem there. And then 2019, he got popped for PEDs, and that was all she wrote. But he didn't have anybody else. Byron Murphy, who was fine, but he wasn't a bona fide CB2 playing alongside a bona fide CB1 because Patrick Peterson wasn't a bona fide CB1 anymore. Marco Wilson, who played pretty well his rookie year, started a bunch of games he had no business being a part of. Like, it hasn't been good. So now when you look at the potential for things to be good, not just because it's different and there's new players, because these players excelled in college, there's proof. Max Melton played quite well last year for being thrust in as a rookie, okay? Garrett Williams is going to be that guy. So whether they play him on the inside or play him on the outside like he played in college, and Will Johnson can step in and just be the guy on the outside within the first 6 weeks or so, we're having very different conversations. If he's ready to go week 1 and not getting burned on the outside by top flight wide receivers, like, you're talking very, very scary territory for opposing teams. Truly. And it's not thought, it's not belief, it's fact. Things are lined up for that to happen if the rookie takes that step right away. Locked On Cardinals, your team every day. Is Kyler Murray throwing interceptions an issue? No. Next. This episode of Locked On Cardinals is brought to you by our friends over at 5 Hour Energy. Time to fuel up and turn it up with 5 Hour Energy Transfusion. It brings the bold grape, ginger, and lime flavor of your favorite golf drink minus the alcohol into a quick energizing shot. So whether you're sinking birdies or making memories with friends, this one's a hole-in-one for your energy. And let's be honest, some days on the course or off of it, you just need that extra boost to stay sharp and energized. Like, when this is how I discuss it, it's like the transition of growing up. It's like I used to drink beers on the golf course. Now I need coffee instead. And this 5-hour energy transfusion is such a better way to get the boost that I need. And it tastes really good, just like my favorite, course drink without the alcohol. Golf is all about good times with good people and good flavors, of course. And the grape ginger lime flavor gives you the best parts of your clubhouse go-to without chasing down the beverage cart. If you go to 5hourenergy.com, that's the number 5hourenergy.com. You can use my promo code LOCKEDONGolf to receive 20% off your first order. This offer is only valid until September 30th. On one order, it cannot be used with other promotions. The code is not good on subscription orders. Whether you are meeting up with friends or trying to turn 18 holes into 36, get the energizing boost you need to power through. Order transfusion flavored 5-hour energy shots today. Please go to the YouTube channel, search Locked On Arizona Cardinals, hit that subscribe button, man. Turn notifications on. We're flying by 4,000 subscribers. This is going to be such a fun year. Make sure to keep an eye out for the squad show. That's why turning notifications on is easy. We're still doing 2 days a week. Alex, myself, Ben Garcia, and Jameel Douglas, hour-long live. I know there's some double dippers who watch both, so thank you. Tell your friends, and we'll be doing it all year. The rundown after games is going to be game ends. I go live on Locked On Cardinals, and then the three of us go live on the Cardinals squad show, all on YouTube. So you'll get your hour-and-a-half fix immediately following every game this year. Is Kyler Murray throwing interceptions in camp an issue? No. Okay. This is something that, I even said there was one clip out of camp. I think it was either Donnie or Tyler Drake from Arizona Sports who posted it, where Kyler dumped down to Trey McBride, who was open, but Marv was open 15 yards down the field on a crossing route over the top of the DB. I couldn't tell if it was a corner or safety. And Kyler took the dump down instead of waiting a beat and getting a larger chunk gain. And I'm like, listen, it's camp. They're working on things. It's not a big deal. And it's like, that gives me it triggers my mind like, oh, you can't do this anymore. But it's camp. So it's fine. The same thing with interceptions. It's like, this is the time to really start to hone in on what liberties you can take with specific routes, with specific players, and which ones you can't. This is the easiest exhibition time to just work on stuff. So I think it's a lot more about Will Johnson, a rookie corner, covering really well in space and then jumping a route more than Kyler Murray throwing an interception. I think that's obvious. But I did want to discuss, numbers in camp are ridiculous. Okay, it doesn't matter. Regular preseason doesn't matter. The only thing that matters in camp is who wins what job. So I'll watch Trey Benson and Cam, and James Conner already came out and said we have 2 RB1s. I saw this, just like I saw James Conner, just like I saw Budda Baker getting extensions, all of these things that we talk about months before on the show, and they actually come to fruition. It's the same thing with Trey Benson. People are going to turn their heads and be like, oh my word, the Cardinals have another one. And why? Because the facts are there. This is just, I've got a feeling. I had a magic 8-ball and I have a feeling. No, you watch football and you make, educated guesses on what's going to be happening next. And I saw plenty last year to show, oh yeah, he's got it. One full off season, maybe one more year behind James Conner in some form or fashion, but obviously regressing back to the mean of percentages of touches. Trey Benson's going to be a dude. But with Kyler Murray, it's like, who cares? It sounds so lazy. It's like, who cares? Either this offense is going to work or it's not. Him not throwing an interception in camp or him throwing 20 has zero effect on what's going to happen in 2025, obviously. The one thing, but, with Will Johnson jumping routes and the defense kind of punishing the offense at times, even though it's at half speed, it's like, that's exactly what's supposed to happen when a defense levels up and all of the resources, for the most part, were passed that way in the draft and free agency. So, are you surprised? No, it's camp also. It's ridiculous. But it's just irrational. It's I've seen that ball thrown. That gets housed every time. I've seen, the deep out just can get, it's one of the most jumpable routes if a ball is laid up there. And that was one that one almost got picked off by Kyler, and then Will Johnson. I don't think it was a 10-yard out route, but it was going towards the sideline. And Will Johnson went up for a contested catch and brought it down. Like, it was an incredible play by the DB, regardless of if he's on the Arizona Cardinals or not. So, all in all, like, with these first two segments, it's like we're starting to see the shift. Like, actually visually starting to see the shift of relevancy. You're starting to see it happen. You're starting to see it happen. You're starting to see it happen. And we'll see, again, the offense, either it's going to work or it won't. There's going to be plenty of quarterbacks who are going to line up to want to play quarterback for this team if it doesn't work out for Kyler Murray. That sounds like, oh, well, every snap is going to determine his fate. No, it's wins and losses. I don't like the stats. Obviously, puts up more stats. You would think that would yield more wins, but Kyler Murray's never really been like, if he does this, then they win. If he doesn't do this, then they lose. Unless it's like the 400 all-purpose yards and 4 touchdown games, which he's done a handful of times in his career. He could be 13 for 21 with a touchdown and 25 rushing yards and a touchdown, and they win by double digits. It's never been a direct correlative between wins and losses for Kyler Murray's stats. I don't know what that says. I don't know what that means, but it's just kind of been a thing. And I'm sure there's trends. I'm sure if he hits these thresholds and they win more games than they lose, of course, but like, I don't care what happens in camp when it comes to that kind of stuff, and I don't think that's a revolutionary idea. I just think it's, it's more about Will Johnson than it is about Kyler with that specific play. And the interceptions, I think Kyler was still on the ball. It's like, listen, this is what it comes down to. Does the defense look as potentially demonic as you thought it could? Yes. Does the offense look exactly the way it did last year? Yes, because it's the same players. You saw Zay Jones get some run, which could be good. I mean, Marvin's been out. Michael Wilson went down. He had a pretty scary collision with Buda Baker. Luckily, Buda's fine. And Michael Wilson, I think, has their – I don't know if it's even concussion protocol. They're just taking it easy with him. So Zay Jones is a vet. He can step in and play. Yeah. So we'll see. I mean, it's kind of TBD until we see real football this weekend. None of the starters are going to play. I think I'm going to do that one on Wednesday. Do the final who should be playing and who should not be playing this preseason, which will be fun. The Cardinals camp welcomes NFL Network. What does it mean? Nothing, but something. I'll explain. This episode of Locked On Cardinals is brought to you by our other friends over at Game Time. Have you ever decided at the last minute to head to a ball game with friends and family? Maybe it's game day. You just suddenly realize you want to be in the stands, and that's exactly where Game Time comes in. It's the easiest way to grab last-minute tickets without all the stress. With the money you save on tickets, you splurge on food, drink, merch, or even invite a bigger group to come with you, and Game Time makes it possible. Game Time makes buying tickets fast and simple. Prices on the app actually go down as you get closer to first pitch, and they've got incredible last-minute deals, clear seat views, so you don't have to guess what your vantage point is going to be. When you buy the tickets, you'll literally see what you'll be seeing when you sit in those seats. It's bonkers. And also, lowest price guarantee, which works, that takes the guesswork out of buying tickets. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account. Use code LOCKEDONNFL for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONNFL for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. So the NFL Network is running a series called Inside Training Camp, and they will be visiting the Arizona Cardinals on Wednesday. The last time the NFL Network and the Arizona Cardinals linked up was for Hard Knocks. And it's funny because all I think with NFL Network, and with any outside quote-unquote noise surrounding the Arizona Cardinals, now it's like, oh, sweet. That's cool. That'll be fun. Instead of, oh no. You don't want cameras here. You don't want anybody to see what's going on. You don't want anybody to see the uncertainty. You don't want anybody to see the roster construction and the talent dispersion. You don't want anybody to see that. It's such a fragile ecosystem. You don't want anything to disrupt it. And now it's like, oh, bring it on, man. Hope Jonathan Gannon says something funny. Bring it on. It's gonna be fun and not, oh gosh, what's going to happen now? And that is just a transference from dysfunction to functionality. I do acknowledge that all of this is setting the stage for them winning a lot of games this year. If they don't, then we can have the conversation about, oh, Alex is dumb. It's same old Cardinals. I'm ready to have it, but I just rational thought lends me to think that there's nothing from the outside that would be able to knock this train off the tracks. I just think it's been built for 1,000 days now. Things are different. Will it translate to wins? Don't know yet. They won more games. They won double the games last year than they did the year before when Kyler Murray missed half the year. Like, you're moving in the right direction. It's not like they won 6 games in 2022 and 4 games with Kyler Murray healthy in 2024. I don't know. Did I miss those years up? Doesn't matter. The last 2 years, like, all of these things are now invited. It'll be fun. Get them on the grounds. Probably, as I tease, like it's not going to mean a whole lot, the grand scheme, but this is something that the Cardinals can house, and it's not just going to be Michael Bidwell showing off, his carcitas or whatever. Look at my toys, guys. No. Everybody's ready for this season. Everybody is ready and locked in. They're being led properly. They've got the right veterans with the right young dudes in the same same position group, whether it be the DB room or the front. I mean, even the backers with Mac Wilson sliding over with to where the green dot it looked like, and by all accounts out of camp, it's like, oh, they had their dude in house the entire time. Would take the stress off of whether it's Cody Simon or Akeem Davis Gaither. Like, things are starting to mold into shape here. And when you add a NFL Network thing, like it used to be, oh no, absolutely not. Just don't wake anybody up. It's like, we don't know how thick this ice is. That's an old one. We don't know how thick or thin this ice is. Let the elephant walk on it. Okay, just shh, calm, nothing else. But this will be fun. So as we pivot into the beginning of football week 1 of the preseason, I think it's safe to say the potential for this team in 2025 and beyond is the strongest it's been in 20 plus years. And let me explain. Okay. The BA years were great. It was a blind date fest. It was a bunch of people from a bunch of different spots, and it worked. Okay. Didn't have the best receivers. Carson Palmer threw the ball down the field, hoping to get, pass interference. That was a no risk and no biscuit. Sometimes John Brown got free. Larry Fitzgerald, like, the best part about those years was Bruce Arians unlocked Larry Fitzgerald's like 8th wind in the NFL, moving him into the slot. Like, that was the best part. But there was 100% a very quick shelf life, and it was a lot quicker than people thought it was going to be, especially in 2016 when they completely excremented the bed after making the NFC Championship game. It just shows the weakness of the organization. Where the Cardinals are now, it was built methodically, slowly, and all they did was check boxes, not just for desperate need of talent, but also for the types of talent and the types of draft picks to partner with the vets that they bring in. Like, this is a bona fide, well-balanced roster. From 1 to 53, especially 1 to 22, we'll see, what the final depth chart is. I think the unofficial first depth chart has come out today. I'll talk about a little bit of that tomorrow. But where the Cardinals are now is exponentially better than they've been easily in the last 10 years, because they've got dudes at every position in numbers that you can trust and who can play. It's not, if Rodney Hudson goes out, who's going to hike the ball to Kyler Murray? That was a thing for like 2 years. That was the thing. Just center. That was the thing. Who's going to play alongside Byron Murphy? The alongside part wasn't elite. And then whoever's going to play next was definitely not going to be better than that. All of the question marks that the Cardinals have surrounding their roster and their future are ones that they're equipped to answer. It's not who's going to be starting because they got to find somebody good enough. It's who's going to win that job and have a bona fide starter standing on the sidelines to start a game because another dude beat him out. It's very different. And it starts its week. Locked On Cardinals, your team every day. Remember, without you, there is no man. I'll talk to you tomorrow.